Hemingway wrote, "A man alone doesn't stand a chance." I'm Dr. Adam Millman. Thank you very much for watching. Yesterday was July 30th, 2025, and it marked the 80th anniversary of the sinking of the USS Indianapolis. This was one of the greatest tragedies in American military history. It marked the largest number of sailors ever to die in the sinking of a ship. Almost 900 men, Marines, and U.S. Navy were killed. The USS Indianapolis had just delivered components of the atomic bomb that would later be called Little Boy, and was sailing back to the Philippines, and it was sunk by a Japanese torpedo. There were 1,195 sailors and Marines on the ship, and only 316 survived. About 300 of them died within 12 minutes, which is how long it took for the ship to sink. The remaining Navy and Marines were in the sea for 4 days before the Navy even realized that the ship had been sunk and where the ship was. The soldiers were covered in fuel and oil and were being eaten by sharks. Supposedly this was the greatest shark attack ever in recorded history, and unfortunately the sharks, tiger sharks and other sharks, had come to devour the soldiers that were lying in the sea waiting to be rescued and didn't even know that no one knew that their ship had been sunk. Some died of dehydration, sun exposure, like I said, the heat, no water, very little food, covered in oil, covered in gas, and some of them actually killed themselves because of the discomfort that they were suffering. Of the remaining survivors, they told stories about how they survived, and there seemed to be a common theme, which was they did not focus on their own pain and their own suffering, but they focused on other people that needed them and who they needed. So the soldiers would ask each other, "Who do you have at home?" "Well, I have my wife, I have my kids." "Well, you need to get home. They need you. You need them. They need you." And for the ones that didn't have a family, that didn't have a wife or didn't have children, they thought about the wife that they would have, the children that they would have, the grandchildren that they would have. And that motivation is what gave many of these men the strength to survive, to stay there in shark-infested waters, dying of dehydration, exposed to this incredibly hot sun in the Philippine Sea, waiting to be rescued. Eventually, the Navy realized that they were missing on the 4th day, and then the rescue attempt was made. And the point of the story is this, as I said earlier with the quote from Hemingway, that man alone doesn't stand a chance. When things get difficult for us, it is natural to turn inward and think about our own suffering and our own problems and our own life, when what we really must do is actually turn outward. Who needs us and who do we need? How can we help other people? How can we contribute to other people? What kind of charity we can do? What kind of service? What kind of mentoring? What kind of direct contribution and change can we make? It's very easy to just sit at home and wallow in your own misery and think about how bad your life is and how it's not going to change. One of the solutions I often recommend for people is to go out into the community and try to help other people. Try to be of service to somebody else through charity, through mentoring, and through teaching, some type of activity that takes the focus on yourself, that helps other people, because we cannot live alone. We are not designed, never have we been designed to live in isolation. And for sure, when we have adversity, when we have tragedy, trauma, sadness, events that we don't like, it's easy to focus on ourselves and our own problems, but the real solution is linking ourselves to other people, how they need us and how we need them. And the men of the USS Indianapolis that were able to survive this tragedy thought about who is at home that needs me, and who do I need? And if I don't have anyone now, I will in the future. And if something were to happen to me, I won't even have the chance to have a wife, to have kids, to have grandkids. To link yourself to other people and not to cut yourself off is a good strategy to survive even the worst situation. I don't think any of us have survived anything like that. So in our own daily struggles, far less than floating in the Philippine Sea with nothing to drink, being devoured by sharks, dying of dehydration and starvation and exposure. I don't think most of us have not had to deal with anything like that. So in our own lives, our own seemingly small, big tragedies and big difficulties and struggles kind of pale in comparison to an event like the USS Indianapolis. And if those men were able to survive, then we can survive. And I think one of the strategies is to link ourselves to other people. Who needs us and who do we need? Not to live alone, not to live as an island with the world on the the world kind of surrounding us that we kind of interact with occasionally, but focusing mostly on ourselves. Think about other people, their problems, how you can help them, how they can help you, but also how you can help them. What kind of service can you provide? What kind of charity, what kind of mentoring, and what kind of teaching? What kind of service can you be to other people? And I think that is a good strategy to implement when things go wrong for us. Whether you're in the Philippine Sea waiting rescue for days and days and days, or in your own everyday struggles. Thank you very much for watching.